Hello, and welcome to another episode of Southern Boy Farms. My name is Kelvin, and today I'm going to be planting watermelons. Now, watermelons is one of my favorite fruits of all time, besides strawberries, which have a big enough slate of their own. But this year, I'm going to go back to my original place where I planted watermelons 2 years ago, which is what I call the 36 square foot pit. So I've got a big enough area here to where 2 years ago I put in watermelons along with vines running up this here PVC trellis that I made. One side had honeydews growing on it, the other side had cantaloupe. The honeydew did fine, the cantaloupe did not, and the watermelon did fine. So this year I'm going to actually put the watermelon back in the ground. I'm not going to do peas here, radish, beans like I did last year, and then switched out with sweet potatoes, and that was a massive harvest. Now we're going to do the watermelon. So I have here some Allsweet watermelon seeds, which I picked up at the Home Depot. I'm hoping that they still work. They said it expired last year, 12, 30 or 31, 21. But like with expiration dates on items inside the grocery store, you tend to be able to get a little past that. I don't know about 3 and 5 years, but at least a few months I should be able to do just fine. So what I'm going to do is I've already gone on ahead and amended the bed because the rain has been off and on, and I've been trying to get out here to get this filmed since yesterday, and it looks like the rain's going to continue to come down. But you know what? As others have told me, you ain't sugar, you ain't gonna melt. So I'm just gonna go right on ahead and just get it done this time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to put in a 2-foot square hole in the middle of this weed covering. And I put the weed covering there just to keep weeds from coming up. This is the thickest one that they sell at my local Home Depot, and it comes in various lengths and various widths. I buy the 4-foot wide by 50-foot long, which helps me do quite well. So, and it is hardy. I recommend it. My tomatoes down at the end, I'm still using the same cover I used last year. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the 2-foot square using this drywall T-square. It's not just for drywall. So let me go ahead and get that done. But I think the rain is going to call me to a halt. I may not be sugar, but I can get totally wet and soaked, and I don't want that at this moment. So I'm going to look for another break in the weather and come right back. Okay, well, that's Florida rain for you. Wait 1 or 2 minutes and the rain will pass by, or at least subside long enough so that you can get back to doing whatever you were doing. So since these are 6-foot by 6 foot, what I'm going to do is to make my 2-foot square hole in the middle, and it doesn't have to be exact, but you want to put your watermelon seeds on like a mini mound, a hill, and so I'm going to make one that's 2 feet by 2 feet by 1 foot high. So that's going to be 4 cubic feet of hill, let's say. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. Okay, so now that I've got my hole, I'm going to go ahead and create my hill. The hill is important because one, you're given more area for the roots near the plant to be warmed by the sun because it's risen up. So that's more surface area for it to come in contact. But also it gives you that slope which allows for runoff of water. And if you accidentally run into a situation, and I say accidentally because none of us can control the weather, and there are unforeseen situations that occur. So you might run into a situation where the water is too much for the ground to soak up, and then you begin to have sitting water. So by this being an additional almost 1 foot in the air, that gives more space for water to be able to collect up around the bottom and not actually soak the roots all the way to the stem of the plant. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 different mixes of cow manure and compost. Each bag is 1 cubic foot. So then, like I said, we need 2 by 2, that's 4 square feet. And if we go up 1, then that's 4 cubic feet. So that's 4 bags of this here. I'm going to put them all down here with the actual black cow on the very top, and then we'll get to putting in the seeds. Now, one thing I forgot was the water hose, so let me go ahead and get that because it'll be better to water in each bag as I go along, and that way I know I have a perfectly moistened mound when I go and get ready to put in the seeds, because this drizzle of rain isn't going to be enough to get everything to a proper moisture level. Almost like making mud pies as a kid. Okay, so now that I've got the hill, and we're more than what I planned on, but we're only like 9 inches high, and we are side to side about 3 feet wide. So what I can actually do is just take this back up. And if you notice, I don't know if you can see that well, but even though I've been dumping water on this for a little bit now, all the stuff in the center is still pretty dry. But like I said in the very beginning, we don't have to be a perfect just need it to be decent in size so that it accomplishes the goals. So at any rate, we've got our mound. Now it's time to put in our seeds. So for something this size, really don't want a whole lot of vines, because these vines can get anywhere up to 6 feet long. And we've only got a 6 foot wide base, but we're going to keep 3 plants. So one plant in that corner might get 6 feet that way and 6 feet that way, but it's not going to have 6 feet in all directions if we leave 3. But let's see what happens. It worked well the last time. We'll see what happens again this time. So to play the law of averages, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 6 seeds in. And then once they get to be about 3 inches tall, then I'll go ahead and thin it back to the 3 strongest plants, and we'll let them go from there. Okay, so let's do this. I only want to plant them about 1/2 inch deep, and so that's about half of this tip of my finger. So half of that is where we want to go. And let me just make sure I'm correct. Nope, I stand corrected. It's actually 1 inch. So we're going to go that far down. Okay. And we want to try and separate them out about 1 foot apart as we go around. So I'm going to actually double tap in a diamond shape, so that we have 2, 2, 2, and then that'll give us our 6. So our compost and cow manure mixture that I use to make this mound, each bag has an NPK of 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. And that's good enough to get the seeds to germinate. Once they get their first set of true leaves, then I'll go ahead and I will add a mixture of 10, 10, 10 to it on the mound itself, not actually up against the plant, and we'll take it from there. So stay tuned for the results, and hopefully some delicious watermelon eating in just over 3 months from now. All right, so remember, love yourself, love those around you, costs you nothing, and it means a lot. It'll mean much to you, and it will mean much to the people you extend some love to. All right, so if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Hit thumbs up, thumbs down. God bless America. I don't mind either one. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think, or what you would like to see me plant this year that I didn't do in the few months that I videoed and planted last year. Okay, so until the next time, bye.